Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man, Rico. Yeah, I'm chilling for my next line. So, I got to knock some videos out. Uh, it's a few topics that's been on my mind that I have not got a chance to talk about. So, I'm going to use today, and I still have my Black Mental Health Matters, Black MEN, Mental Health Matters. Look, I don't know if y'all just heard in the news where Olympian, championship Olympian, Sha'Carri Richardson is involved in another domestic violence situation. I say another because in her previous relationship with a woman, some Jamaican chick, she was involved in domestic violence, or she said that the woman beat her. But now, for the past almost a year, she has been involved in a relationship with a young man. His name is Christian Coleman. He too is a track star, a track champion, and has a lot of endorsements. I don't know if y'all seen it in on social media. Just go look it up. It's not hard to find because everybody's talking about it. Um, it was reported that in a Seattle airport, she was caught on camera because the camera supposedly came out in the airport. Security cameras came out and showed where she was pushing him. Pushing him so hard that he fell against something, in the airport. I don't know. It wasn't a luggage rack. It was some kind of rack that he fell against. And so he did an interview afterwards and said, no, it was, pretty much it was cool, kind of defending her, saying, she goes through things, I go through things, we all go through things as people. She's a wonderful person. She's the greatest athlete he's ever known. And you know how they do, and how abused boyfriends, girlfriends, wives do when they want to take up for the batterer in their lives. And the title of this is Domestic Violence Against Men Has to Stop. Forever, the narrative has always been, and rightfully so, in the beginning. When you think of domestic violence, you think of men beating on or attacking women. And it's still a reality. However, we can no longer pretend or just kind of look past or minimize the domestic violence or the violence that's often perpetuated against men. We have to stop that. And when I heard his interview, he sounded just like any woman who's trying to protect her abuser. No, they're cool. She's fine. We all have some things we got to work through. She does, and all of this. Okay. And also, some of the comments were saying like, girl, if he make, let me tell you how sick black women are. Not all, but too many. Girl, if he makes you that angry, you need to get away from him. If he makes you that angry. Did y'all hear that? Girl, you got to find somebody who's your peace. But she's the one doing the hitting. They always ask, well, what did he do to invoke her? But no one ever asks, what made this man beat this woman? What made him shoot her and the kids? No one ever asks that. He's a monster. He a coward. He's this and that. No one ever asks, well, what made him so angry that caused him to want to do that to her? And I'm saying it because most recently, a young man who been married to his wife, black wife, for years, and they have 3 children together. The children are kind of up in age. No one's above 12, I would think. You can look this up as well. I think this happened in Detroit recently. He found out that all 3 of the kids belonged to another man. None of those kids were his. Now, how the hell that happened? Well, we know how it happened. Women are cheaters, just like anybody else. And so he was so angry, he went on her job with his loaded gun and went, unloading on her. I said, he must have been really mad. His hand was shaking. He shot her several times and she tried to duck in the car with a coworker. He bow, and just shooting her. And somehow she survived that attack. And he shot at her, shot her up, bow. Then he Then I'm sorry, pew, 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 as you have to say on social media, pew, pew, pew. And then he pistol whipped her. And this heifer survived. She's in the hospital recovering. And of course, he's going to jail. No one ever, and you can, no one, and there were people saying, well, I understand why he crashed out and all of that, but it's like, damn, how much does a man have to take? She hadn't really been vilified, per se, for being a cheating, lousy, whorish wife. And it goes to what I was talking about earlier in one of my early videos. Men have feelings too. And for you to be a man because men always talk, well, you're supposed to provide and protect your woman. You're supposed to be, earn money so you can provide for your woman and your kid. We're always told that nonsense. And then he was probably a guy who was doing just that. Kind of find out all those years. All 3 of the kids belong to another man or men. We've heard this story before. It's a guy on there who said like all 6 of his kids belong to somebody else. That shit is crazy. Whew. So, but this Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman, nice young man. Matter of fact, when you look at him when he presents, he's too good for her. Clean cut, handsome brother, got his life together. He got a lot of stuff going on. And then you look at her, and we know the history of her. She got off the weed, allegedly. Her attitude is not always that great, but she's gotten better enough where she can get sponsors in the last 3 years. Because she started off really rough. Smart mouth, attitude bad. And everybody always said, well, y'all don't know what she been through. Y'all know she lost her mother. Her grandmother her mother abandoned her. We went through all of that. Oh, yeah, we went through all of that. We always have to go through what's wrong with her. And to justify bad behavior in women. Always have to do that. And that has to stop. We have to stop giving this grace and these conveniences for bad behavior when women act a fool. She ain't went through no more than any other human being on this planet. It's called a hardship or hardships. But somehow a lot of people still are able to make their way through and beyond their hardships. You don't project it out on other people and act it out on other people. And so then another thing about this young man, and any young man, why would you make a bisexual chick your girlfriend? What's up with that? You already know there's confusion there. I understand, you want to knock down a bisexual chick. We all lining up on that Thursday night when it's men's night with the bisexual chick. But you do not make a bisexual chick your girlfriend, bro. That's any young man. You just don't do it. They're already out of line. They're out of line and out of alignment up here. They're straddling the fence. So how you think she going to be mentally or sexually or whatever loyal to you? And please, your exceptions out there, well, I don't mess with women no more. And so I've been saying, I don't want to hear your exceptions because it does not erase the rule or eradicate the rule. And number 2, sir, this woman has more tattoos than a tattoo shop. That in itself is signs of mental illness. All these folks that's tatted up all over them, they got problems. And look at him. He doesn't look anything like that. But it's the same thing with women that date men who let them know, tell them, well, I kick it on both sides. But you think he's so handsome, whatever, you still date a bisexual man. An active bisexual man. So it's weird on both sides. I understand people's sex is fluid and all that kind of nonsense. When I have sex with a beautiful bisexual chick, of course. If she look like Megan Good or Kelly Rowland or Chili from TLC or Tika Sumpter, she's a fine, bad, she look like Brittany Renner. Damn right. But would she be my girlfriend? Of course not. I got more sense than that. So that's a lot of things. When I heard that young man present, see, we already know Sha'Carri Richardson don't have it all upstairs. And also, for you to act such a fool like that in public, in the airport, knowing that you know who you are, as famous as you are, that something tells me that that's something been going on in private. And he's the one trying to be the keeper of the gate of the nonsense. And the video shows him just shoving him. Now she ain't nothing about 5'1". He's a bigger man. That all that's maybe I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I'm so sick of men, particularly black boys, because we're raised a little differently, kinda than other folks. Black boys in the last, no, we're raised to worship the women. I don't care what they do. Y'all know they tell black folks in the church and black people, black families, I don't care what your mama do. I don't care what she say to you, whatever. It's still your mama. And then they misquote the Bible. You should always make sure you honor thy mother and whisper, thy father. But you honor thy mother, though. You know, and all these pictures of women when got their mama, grandma, auntie, not a father or uncle in sight. Y'all think that's weird? All this woman worship? And so these young men who can stand up to rival gangs, they can go into UFC. They become championship boxers. They go off to war and shoot guns and have to risk their lives stepping over grenades, but they'll let a woman kill them just because of some psychological social engineering that he went through as a child. And then these simp-ass fathers and these other men, I don't care what a woman does, ain't never reason to hit a woman. I don't believe none of that shit. I don't believe none of it. If I had a son, I wouldn't dare teach him that bullshit. I don't care what the law states. Because one thing that's law above this other nonsense is the law of nature. You're a man, you don't never let a woman put her hands on you. You don't never let a woman, hell, even raise her voice. And if she does, why you got to, they always say, well, a man can walk away. You can't walk away from these wombats today. These hoes be jumping on your back and trying to fight. You got the two-piece and the pepper these broads. And I get sick and tired of seeing video after video, even in public, these young men allowing these women that they're twice their size verbally berate them and physically assault them. Y'all talk about the death rate of young men by the hands of other men and the cops or whatever, but y'all never mention the death rate of young black men who are murdered by funk-ass girlfriends or women who call themselves mad because he must have roasted her. She get to pull out a weapon and kill him. He's like, I ain't gonna hit her. You sit there like a dumbass and let a woman slap you, beat you all in your back, and then you have this dumbass logic, well, and let other people tell you, well, you much bigger than her. Did you know a 5'4" woman can push you into traffic and get hit by a car? You know a 100-pound woman can grab a knife and stab you in your damn neck, fool? Do you know a 4'11" and a 92-pound woman can shoot a gun and kill your dumb ass? And y'all sit around here and with this logic and teach your son they ain't never reason to hit a woman. Your son ain't gonna live long, especially if he dating a lot of these. I'm not even gonna say it. That's stupid. I wouldn't dare. And you have to forgive me, y'all. I grew up in Memphis and inner city. I grew up in pimping. I'm 56 years old. I grew up when pimping was king. And women didn't act a fool like that in the 70s and 80s because pimping was strong. And they understood, you get out of line, this pimping gets activated. And I fought against that nature. I did. I fought against that nature because I know it's not nice. But, man, today, the pimpings need to form a Voltron and just do one wide swoop, a backhand a lot of these hoes. It's ridiculous. No, I'm not advocating violence. I'm advocating that men stop standing around because, let me tell you dumb something. There's nothing masculine about you letting a woman beat your ass. There's nothing masculine about about you allowing a woman to kill you. And at the funeral, he died of Maine. A woman was stabbing him up. She ran over with a car. She shot him with a pistol, and he didn't hit her back. Now, that's a Maine. Let's all hold our heads in prayer for this young man who's been sent to the upper room. Amen, amen. Y'all know how stupid that is? All day long, they're telling women to get guns and defend yourself. Protect yourself, girl, against these men. But they tell the men to put their weapons down and even put their hands away and let a woman beat them because they think it's masculine. So that's what happens when you grow up in a matriarchal society. The black community, for the last 50 years, has been a matriarchal society. That's why a lot of these men are so weak. Now that same young man, if a black dude accidentally bumped against him or stepped on his shoe, he'll try to, man, put World War III on another man. But he'll sit there and let that little that specially touched, tattooed up girl, bisexual chick, push him down and possibly, he said, fuck around and find out. What's up, Dwayne? What's up, Claude? Pamela Stapleton, what's up? You know, he'll let that little chick, that little touched in the head girl, possibly ruin his professional career. Because what if she had pushed him so hard into something that could have injured his knee or his ankle? That would have went his career. And they would have treated her like Rihanna. When Rihanna attacked Chris Brown, all of a sudden everybody attacked Chris Brown for defending himself against a violent bitch. And she get to be a billionaire and all this kind of stuff. And he went into deep depression and self-sabotage, all those goddamn tattoos all over his body. And his music changed, turned into gutter trash R&B, hair all blonde and all. Just fucked him up psychologically. Because we turned on that young man because we so busy pulling that same matriarchal nonsense. We just took her word for it. When the truth came out, still didn't believe a man like that. He couldn't tell you the truth. See, another thing that Christian Coleman, young man, said, I'm a believer in Christ and I love everybody and all that. See, all that. See, when I heard him talking, I said, listen to Tina Turner talk about Ike Turner. And bless her heart, Tammy Terrell talk about David Ruffin and James Brown. And any woman y'all know in y'all life and y'all been around who's been battered by her boyfriend or ass kicked by her husband, they all sound the same way. No, don't do it. No, it's okay. He was just angry. He was just upset. That's how that young man sounded when he trying to defend that violent, abusive girl. And she has problems that he has no business being around. Christian Coleman, if anyone tag that brother, get away from that damn girl. Now, if it comes out that you secretly be beating her ass and that she just used that time to do it, well, I'm going to change my stance. But right now, I'm standing on what I said. As they say, I'm standing on business with what I just said. Because I having one who's been in the field of social work, in the roles of a counselor, substance abuse and mental health for the past 24 years, going on 25 now, who's also taught, I facilitated batters intervention prevention groups. I've had all men. And one thing I learned, there's a difference between domestic violence and battering. Y'all want to know the difference? See, you got a batterer and you got domestic violence. Domestic violence is when, let's say, couples get into it. They argue, next thing you know, he pushed her down, she get up and he hit him in the head. And he pushed her down and she's like, I know you didn't push me, and push his ass back, and then they get to swinging. He punch her in the face, she scratches his eyes out, and they snatching clothes off. He trying to run, she chasing after him with a stick. Or she throws a plate at him, he push her over the couch, and she get up and start chucking dishes at his ass. That's domestic violence. But a battering situation. See, a batterer is an angry, self-loathing SOB with no other outs except for to build themselves up by attacking someone who's trying to love you, who don't want to cause you no harm because of other deep-seated issues you haven't dealt with. That's men and women, because batterers, it has no gender. Domestic violence has no gender. I don't give a damn what. You go to a domestic violence workshop tomorrow and mark my words, domestic violence does not have a gender. But I know, based on statistics back in the day, and the way they present it, is always the man. It's always the man. But y'all know better. Y'all know better. So, a batterer comes home. He or she is powerless at work, powerless among this friend group, and they come home and he kicks the dog, smacks the kids, and because the wife is breathing, he punches her. And she, oh my God, what you hit me for? What was dinner at? Well, it's on the stove. Well, how come it wasn't on the table when I walked in this motherfucker? See, that's a bullying batterer. Sha'Carri Richardson is a batterer. Because if it was domestic violence, he would have been pushing her ass over about 4 sets of luggage. And she would have got up and threw a carry-on at his ass. They would have been going at it. She's a batterer. And I want to tell you, young man, for your own life, to say, get away from her. And you need to go to therapy, Christian Coleman. You can call me, bro. Hit me up. We can talk about it. Because this self-hatred and self-loathing is not going to work out for you, sir. Get away from her. There's too many beautiful, actual beautiful chicks that have no tattoos, that appear to be sweet as sugar, that run track. And I don't know how you came across this chick. You know, just like I'll tell a woman that messing with a fucked up dude, it's not your job, Mr. Coleman, to be her counselor. It's not your job to be her therapist. You're supposed to be her boyfriend. And that doesn't include no damn. What's up, Keelan? That doesn't include. So, Keelan said, men get beat on too. You want to tell your story? So when you want to hook that up, brother? Let's do that. You want to tell it in the form of a counseling session, Keelan? Or would you want to come on my live and let's talk about it on my YouTube channel? We can talk about it and let me know, bro. Because women need to hear this. But yeah, come out. I want all the brothers to come out and tell the story. No judgment here, because I understand. Especially if you was raised, hell, in a matriarchal family, they tell you don't never hit no woman. And then these ignorant older guys, you'll never hit a woman. A man that raises his hand to a woman is not a man. So what is a woman that raises her hand to a man? Is she not a woman? See, I don't get involved in none. I don't subscribe to none of that bullshit. None of it. I don't. What if you had a daughter? I don't have a daughter. I don't have no fucking kids. So those scenarios and hypotheses and all that kind of stuff, they don't work on me. I don't even get involved in that kind of nonsense. Because all I know is what I see and what I've treated. Battered men. And when a man gets slapped, his self-esteem goes low, just like when a woman gets slapped or punched. His self-esteem. Because today we letting you know that men are human beings. I'm not saying I'm advocating for men to go out here just jumping on women and verbally assaulting them and messing with them. I don't play that either. Don't bother a woman who's not bothering you. And it's okay, fellas, for a lady to tell you no. She ain't got to take your number. Keelan talking about some church of chicken got these women strong as hell these days. Keelan, man, look, why don't you invite them to some of your workouts, bro? Yeah, you have all your little pictures all over the stories and shit. Yeah, show them your regimen, man, what you do so you get them out of church of chicken and send them to. So what can they go to, like one of these low calorie Asian buffets? But yeah, man, it's insane. I'm tired of seeing young men around here. I'll even take it further. See, domestic violence or abuse is not just physical, it's verbal. A lot of black boys grow up in verbal abuse, especially if they grew up in these single mother households. You just like your daddy, you ain't shit. Or they beat them. They really be beating on these boys. Then they wonder why these boys grow up with these issues. And then if you're a young woman growing up seeing your mama dominate your daddy, well, you'll grow up thinking it's okay to beat on men. Because a lot of y'all got fathers in your home, but your mama, like Ray J mama and Brandon mama, run the household. Your father's not the man of the house. Well, you know, whatever my darling say, whatever May say, whatever she say. See, and teaching girls that they can grow up to be big mouth, bossy, pushy, aggressive chicks when it comes to the men in their lives. You know, and I'll tell any man, your next girlfriend, for those of you who are single right now, your next girlfriend, and you ask the question, what's your relationship with your father? If she said, well, you know, he wasn't in my life, he ain't this and all that, you get away from her after you've had sex with her, because usually those broken ones got the best head. They're pretty good in bed. either they're pretty good in bed, but do that once or twice, then casually walk away from her, because you're not going to get the best treatment from her. Because if she does not have a father in her life that she respects and adores, she's not going to respect and adore you, unless you behave like the men who want shit like let's say their mama picked. Oh man, I can go a lot of places with this. They don't. If you're a nice guy and she's a big mouth, get away from her. And I need you nice guys to stop going after these old broken ass chicks. Now I'm telling y'all what I had to learn to stop doing. Because they can be emotionally abusive or emotionally non-existent. You find yourself doing more of the emotional legwork, like trying to know PDA, or you're the one who doing the most of the hugging and trying to cuddle, and she kind of off and on. And it's okay to be a nice guy. You just have to control. I mean, a truly nice guy and a gentleman, not a nice guy just to get some. That ain't cool. You're being disingenuous and you're a goddamn liar. But you want to be kind. You have to find those ladies who want to be kind. Now, she's a pushy, talky, Did y'all know, well, you don't know, whenever I've dated or even had these female friends, you know how women laugh? They always testing the waters to see how far they can go with you. Either with snide, little slick-ass comments, you got to cut them off. Right there. Let them have it right there and there. Number 2, you know how when women like to laugh and ha, 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 and they get to they hit you, boy, you so stupid. Or some of them pinch, they be laughing, boy, you so. I didn't allow none of that, and I don't allow it. When you laugh, you better put your hands in your laugh heifer. Don't hit me, boy, you so. Don't do that, because all that is this test to see how far they can go with you. So when they get angry, you see that kind of anger, they think it's okay to hit you. Just like how women say about men, if he tells you to shut up or he yells at you, girl, that's a sign. That's a red flag. You better get away. There are the red flags up the way. These little violent chicks, they think it's okay to beat on men because y'all allow it. It's interesting that it's some men that they don't dare try that with. That's why I probably with mine. See, I'm a good dude. I think I'm pretty nice to women I'm nice to women who are nice to me. But if you're a fool with me, I act a clown with your ass. Or I move on. But I'm at the age now, I don't act like that. Now I'm in my 50s. I don't be doing all that dumb shit. Even when I was young, I like to keep it calm. But you ain't gonna talk too much shit now. Because I grew up in North Memphis like the rest of y'all or whatever. I was real easygoing, pretty cool, but I don't play all that. Roasting and checking, little mom, you don't want this smoke. And I try to keep that on the low. I don't do all that because I get vicious. I spare no parts, but I don't like to talk like that because that's ugly. Don't like to act like that. So again, if you run around women that don't make you feel, masculine and you feel just want to be there, feel loved, and get away. Hell, you can go buy some coochie and get better treatment than a lot of these chicks. They're requiring that you take them out on dates. Because at least with the prostitute chick or the chick that's going for the coins, you can get what's called a girlfriend experience, and she plays the role all the way up into climax. That's what I heard. I watch a lot of Law and Order SVU, so I ain't with all that. But I'm not against it. I'm just saying I haven't delved down that road yet. So, yeah, all options are there because, man, you don't have to take the nonsense. Or you can just, passport bros. Shout out to the legitimate passport bros, not the passport pookies who going over to other countries and fucking up. But the actual passport bros and black men travel groups. Shout out to those two groups of real brothers. These passport pookies, we ain't talking about them. So, Kristen Coleman, get away from that violent girl. Get away, bro. And you need to go seek therapy and wonder why. Because I had to do the same thing. I found myself picking not physically violent women, but women who tried to control me or, just try to tell me what to do. Yeah, controlling women and women who were not very emotionally presenting, if you will. And then you learn, if you keep it player, you understand that it's all about who they like. I guess the ones who try to tell me what to do, they like me, but they want to try to control me. And those who weren't very, I guess, emotionally into our relationship the way I was, maybe I like them more than they like me. But we all know, if you're a man who's out here dating and doing whatever, you know when a chick really likes you. Because you can do anything and whatever, do any and whatever you want, and she cool with it. So don't ever forget that. You don't have to make concessions. You don't have to accept disrespect on any levels. You don't have to end it because you already know. Especially to you guys that get these wives, then you say, damn, she changed. Well, a lot of times y'all might not need to make them wives because you seem to get the best benefits out of her when she believes that she's competing for that brass ring. Keep in competition mode. Because when you marry her, she's like, well, I got him now. I ain't got to suck his ding. I ain't got to stick my ass out of my bedroom window and let him hit at 2 o'clock in the morning like I used to. I ain't got to let him hit in the back of the car in the park no more like I used to. Shit, I'm his wife now. I ain't got to do all this nasty, slutty things I used to do for him. So a lot of y'all might need to keep them girlfriends because when they girlfriends, shit, they bring money home. They go out and get money for you. They do everything. So, even though I'm a proponent for marriage, I'm just saying, damn. Hey, that's reality. A lot of y'all probably doing the right thing by keeping her as a girlfriend. She seem to be more loyal when she the girlfriend. She don't seem to get bored with you when she the girlfriend, but all of a sudden she's a wife. I want something more. It's like something's missing in my life. I became a wife and I became a mother, and I lost myself in my marriage, and it's just, he's a wonderful man. Don't get me wrong. He's a great husband. He's a great father to our children, but there's something that something that I just don't feel fulfilled. Y'all heard that bullshit? You know, in the bedroom, it's still great, but it's something I just need more. But when the girlfriend, she like she can't get enough. So it just, anyway, domestic violence needs to stop against men. Domestic violence against men needs to stop. And Keelan, get at me, man. Don't just be running on here thinking you throwing like punchlines and shit on my live. It ain't for that. Stuff like this is serious, bro. Get at me in the instant message, and let's kind of set this up. Or let me hear your story, man, because I got a few minutes, but shit, I got at least an hour or two before my next client. So I'm going to be doing quite a few things before my next client. So, or whenever, bro. Just hit me up and set up the time we can have a conversation before the conversation. Because I took that what you said very seriously, even though you tried to laugh it off on here. But y'all be cool. It's your man Rico. Thank y'all so much for sharing, and subscribing on my Facebook page. And I need some more followers. Keep following me. Let's get me up to, man, 1,000 followers so we can get this thing popping. And I'm about, I think, 500 short of my goal to get monetized my YouTube channel. And I need about 1,500 more watch hours. I need y'all to watch the videos on my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, OPINIONIST. Y'all be cool. Talk to y'all later. Peace.